Hello and welcome back everyone for our grammar session. These days, as you know, we are learning about grammar and especially the tenses. Up to now, we have completed around about six tenses. Now we are into the seventh tense today. All the present tenses we had completed. Past tense, we discussed two tenses about the past tense, simple past tense, and past continuous. So let us have a quick recap about them so that we'll have a better understanding that when you are supposed to use a particular tense. In past, in simple present, we use four situation when we are talking about daily activity, routine life. That means an universal truth and likes and dislikes and proverb. These four things are generally described in simple present. Present continuous speaks about the action which remains continuous at the time of speaking. Present perfect shows an action which is recently completed, but it has its impact in the present. Present perfect continuous is generally used for the actions which started somewhere in the past. It is not over yet, and it is still continuous. In that case, we use present perfect continuous tense. Simple past is used for the actions which is completed and it has no impact in the present. And present past continuous is used for the actions which was continuous by certain point of time in the past. So I quickly spoke out all the uses so that you'll have a quick revision of that particular thing. Now we shall move forward to our next tense, that is past perfect tense. Dear friends, this particular tense is very important from the point of view of your exercises, examination or various competitive exam, because this tense has its own importance. This tense is generally used with the combination of another tense, and that is why that becomes very important. So to understand the structure about this particular tense is uh, you can take it like IMP, very important, or whatever category you want to put, but you can't leave away this tense and move forward, because it will be very useful in written also, in grammar exercise also, and various other aspects. So before we jump into the details about past perfect tense, let us discuss about when we should use past perfect. That should be very clear whenever you are using any kind of tense. When you use any kind of tense, at that time the idea should be very clear in your mind that this particular tense is used in this particular situation. When situation will get clear in your mind and tense will go with the combination of the situation, then your spoken skill also would be considered versatile, and you will achieve a new level of learning if you'll have thorough understanding of each and everything. So let us have a discussion about when to use this particular tense. When we describe two activities of past, both might not have taken place at the same time. Thus, the very first activity that took place in real time, we write it in past perfect, and the next activity we write in simple past or past continuous. So, by this definition, you might be very, very confused that how come this definition is so long and it is very tedious, I mean, very difficult to remember. But let us read it once again. If you will have understanding about this one, then I don't think that you will in the future will find any problem solving the exercise related to the past perfect tense. So let us read and understand the meaning of the sentence. When we describe two activities of the past, dear friends, language is about describing many events in our day-to-day life. When we are going through any literature, literature tells us about stories, some history events, and all these things. Stories and history events that has taken place in the past. When even those answers we have to write in past tenses. So it might happen that there might be various kind of situation in the past. When there are various kind of situations, various kind of activities, all the activities may not have taken place at the same time. So one activity, one action takes place after another action, then another action, then another action. So here what it says, when we describe two activities of the past, both might not have taken place at the same time. You know, hardly a situations when the two action takes place at the same time. But you will find at least there is a fraction of a second's difference between the two activity. For example, imagine that you are sitting in a classroom. The recess is about to take place. You are sitting in the classroom, the recess is about to take place, and everybody is waiting eagerly for the bell to ring so they can jump out of the class. Now, you are eager, you are about to leave your bench and about to move, but you will wait for the bell to ring. As soon as the bell rings, then you move out of the class, right? So many of you feel that we move out of the class at the same time the bell ring. It is not quite possible. There is a fraction of a second's difference between bell ringing and your moving out of the class. So first the bell rings and you move out of the class. So in real time situation, the bell rang first and you move out of the class. So when you have to describe this type of situation, we know that the ringing of the bell is the first action. Then after the children went out of the class, second action. So the first action is ringing of the bell, and as a result, that first action you are supposed to write in past perfect tense. Say here, both might not have taken place at the same time. Thus, the very first activity that took place in real time, very first activity that took place in real time means in reality, sequence wise, whatever the activity took place. For example, the bell rang first and then children went out. That bell rang first, we have to use it in past perfect. We write it in past perfect, and the next activity we write in simple past tense. I'm going to give you an example also. But before that, let us discuss about the verb form. Verb form is very simple. Had plus V3. Had plus V3 is the verb form here. Now, I gave already an example of bell ringing and children going out. So in real time, we can write this sentence like this: when the bell had rung, the children went out. When the bell had rung, children went out. We have written this particular sentence in past perfect. And the activity that happens afterwards in real time, that we write in simple past or either past continuous. Generally, this is more used with this particular tense. This is used with the combination. Here, the second one we have written in simple past. Narration wise, sentence may be whatever. You don't have to worry about narration wise context. For example, this sentence can be written like this also: the children went out when the bell had rung. The children went out when the bell had rung. Now, expression is different. But in real time, whatever the situation, this activity took place first. So we write this in past perfect. Even though the sentence may be like this or maybe like this. उल्टा एक्सप्रेशन किया हो तो भी in real time situations, whatever the activity took place first, that we have to write in past perfect, and the activity that takes place afterward, that we will write in simple past. Is it clear? Think about another situations in the context that suppose you went to somebody's home, and by the time you went to his home, that person might have completed his dinner. You went to someone's home, and your friend's home, and your friend, by the time you went to your his home, at that time or before that time, he had completed his dinner. जैसे कि हम हिंदी उसको हिंदी में बोलते हैं कि जब मैं उसके घर गया तब उसने खाना खा लिया था. जब मैं उसके घर गया तब उसने खाना खा लिया था. So here also two actions. Your going to his home is one activity, and your friend completing his dinner is another activity. So both, we know that it might not have taken place at the same time. So and think which is the activity that took place first. In real time, which is the activity that took place first? Obviously, he had completed his dinner. He is completing the dinner is the first activity, and then after you went to his home. So completing the dinner, we have to write in past perfect, and you're going to his home, you have to write in simple past. So I can frame a sentence like this: when I went to his home, he had completed his dinner. When I went to his home, he had completed his dinner. See, he had completed the real time, the sequence, whatever the activity took place, we write in past perfect. And the second activity that happens afterwards, we write in simple past. But you may feel somewhere in your mind that here this sentence is written first. So why not past perfect here with this one? And this sentence is written afterwards. Why not simple past here? ऐसा नहीं होता, कई बार हमारे माइंड में बहुत सारे कंफ्यूजन होते हैं कि पहला सेंटेंस तो ये है, तो इसके साथ पास्ट परफेक्ट क्यों नहीं है, और दूसरा सेंटेंस ये है तो यहाँ पे पास्ट परफेक्ट क्यों? हमको एक्सप्रेशन वाइज नहीं जाना है, right? We don't have to go with the mood of expression. We have to think about the reality. I mean, in real time, whatever the sequence took place, based on that sequence, we have to choose where to use past perfect. In real time, completing the dinner took place first, and then after this thing happens, so we are writing this particular sentence in past perfect. I have given thorough explanations about this one. Why? Because this is, you can actually really say that it is an IMP tense. You know, there are certain tenses which keeps on coming in your examination. Many people neglect simple present tense. Simple present tense is such a tense that it may come in error correction, or it may come in fill in the blanks. Similarly, present perfect is also one of them. And this past perfect is also very IMP, because this is used with the combination of another tense, and that's why the structure becomes little bit confusing, and you have to apply your logical mind, I mean logic, that in real time which activity will take place, and that in that thinking, in that logical thinking, generally many students falter. So here, always remember past perfect as the structure had plus V3, and it is used with the combination of another tense. Okay, I hope that whatever explanation is given by me is thoroughly understood by you. And now we are moving forward to the exercise. So till I write exercise on the board, you just wait for a second. Okay, friends, let's solve the exercises related to the past perfect. I written about 8 sentences, and there are certain clues also, just like previously we had done exercise. So let us start with the first one. They dash a lot of wood before the weather got cold. They dash a lot of wood before the weather got cold. Here, before the weather got cold is the situation that took place afterward. This is the situation they dash a lot of food is the first situation. So here we will write this particular tense in past perfect tense. I mean past perfect, we already know it verb formation is simple had, and here it will come bought. They had bought a lot of food before the weather got cold. Similarly, here we dash for shopping when they came at our home. Somebody came at home, but before that time they had gone for shopping. Now here is the real time. In the real time situation, this particular activity will take place first. So we write that in past perfect, and the activity that happens afterwards we write in simple past. So here we will write had, third form of the verb, gone. Exercise initially will seem very, very easy because we know that we have to fill in with the past perfect only just now. But when it will come in your examination, all the 12 tenses will come together and there will be no clue to you. I mean, clear instruction may not be given to you that fill in with this particular tense. You have to judge from the sentence and select a proper tense and then go for the proper form of the verb. I have created problem in numbers. I think 1, 2, 3, and that then directly 5, 6, 7, 8. I have written, but you can adjust with the number. Here you will take it like 4, 5, 6, 7. I thought I had written 4 here, but by mistake. So when I arrived in the classroom, the teacher dash lesson already. When I arrived in the classroom, the teacher dash lesson already. So by the time he went to the classroom, the lesson had already started. So this activity that took place in real time first. So here we will write had plus started. That is the combination of past perfect. When I arrived in the classroom, the teacher had started lesson already. He asked his father before he went to see his mother. So he had completed one activity before he completed the second activity. This is the first activity. So this will be narrated in past perfect. Had called. He bought he brought a drink that I dash. This is done first, order something, and then this is the second. So you will write this in had ordered. He brought a drink that I had ordered. When she does the noise, she turned to see. She heard something and then she turned to see. So that this activity took place first. So we will write that in past perfect had heard. When she had heard the noise, she turned to see. Similarly, here the movie dash when we arrived at the cinema. So the movie already started, first activity, and then they went to cinema. So here we will write this in past perfect had started. So dear friends, this is the way you have to use past perfect in combination. Generally, most of the time simple past will come, but you just try to understand the situation. Situation means sequence. If it is the first sequence and you have to fill in the blanks in the first, then it is better that you go with the past perfect tense. I hope with this much explanations, you will be able to do well in your past perfect exercise. If you have some book, grammar book at home, then you can go to the chapter of past perfect and try to see it more so that it will be very useful to you and there is less chance that you might forget about this one. So whatever we have learned, that we have to continuously keep it in practice so that later on it should not be forgotten. So hope this is thoroughly done. We will study about another tense, that is past perfect continuous tense, in the next video. Till then, it's a goodbye from me. Have a good day. Hello and welcome back everyone for our grammar session. As you know, these days we are learning about English grammar, especially tenses. Till now, we had completed all the present tenses and we had also discussed three tenses in the past tense. So today, one more last tense in the past tense, that is past perfect continuous tense. That is what we are going to learn. Now, let me tell you in the beginning, this tense is hardly used in day-to-day life. I mean, while speaking at the current situations, I mean, in our day-to-day life, we do not use this particular tense so much. Rather than that, people generally replace this particular tense with the past continuous. But grammatically correct it is, if we know when to use past perfect continuous, it is better to use that particular tense only. So, since we are preparing for the competitive examination, we need to be very clear about past perfect continuous tense. As I said, that it is hardly used in our day-to-day life. That doesn't mean that we don't have to study it. Sometimes what slightest things which we neglect can create a problem for us. So let us start with past perfect continuous tense and its use. When to use this particular tense? Now, here I am writing just for your reference some activity started in the past it continued for some time and also ended in the past. We use these tense. Again, let us read it very carefully. Some activity started in the past, it continued for some time, and also ended in the past. To describe this particular situation, we use these tense. Now, you may be thinking or wondering, uh, when is the such situation comes? So it comes. Let me tell you that, for example, let us talk about yesterday. Yesterday, you might have read for example, I'm telling you might have read for 2 or 3 hours, reading the book. So let us visualize that situation. Yesterday, round about at 5 o'clock in the evening, you started reading and you continued reading, I mean studying, up to 4 hours. It lasted up to 9 o'clock. 9 o'clock, or say for an example, 8 o'clock, from 5 to 8 or from 5 to 9. So, activity started at 5 o'clock, continued for 3 4 hours, and it also ended. So, to describe that situation, we use this particular tense. Now, before we form a sentence, let me discuss with you about the verb. Verb form, verb form is had, been, had and been plus verb plus ing. Had or been plus verb plus ing. This is the formation you have to remember. Now, whatever example I had given, I can frame the sentence based on that. I had been reading biology for 4 hours yesterday. I had been reading biology for 4 hours yesterday. Activity started like some 4 hours ago, continued for 4 hours, and ended after 4 hours. So to describe that situation, we use past perfect continuous tense. We can also frame another sentence. They had been fighting, fighting or quarreling, fighting whole day yesterday. They have been fighting whole day yesterday. So rather than saying this particular situation, this particular sentence, people generally in today's life, what happens that they go for the shortcuts. People intentionally or unintentionally frame a sentence like this that I was reading biology for 4 hours yesterday. They are framing sentence in past continuous tense, and we also take it for granted because meaning is understood. But grammatically correct is I had been reading biology for 5 hours yesterday. Here, rather than saying they had been fighting whole day yesterday, people generally say or frame sentence like this that they were fighting whole day yesterday. Continuous tense they, past continuous they generally use, but it should not be. We have to use past perfect continuous tense. I hope whatever explanation is given, some activity started in the past, it continued for some time and also ended in the past. When next time you will come across this type of situation, you will go with this verb form had plus been plus verb plus ing, and then based on that, you will try to frame sentences. Is it clear, my friends? Okay. Now, since use is clear, verb form is also clear, and sentence examples are also given. So we are going to solve some 7 or 8 or 10 sentences based on past perfect continuous tense, so that permanently it will get fixed in your mind. So till I write sentences on the board, you just wait for 1 minute or 30 seconds or so. Okay, friends, we are ready now with the exercises. There are around about 6 sentences because I could write only 6 sentences because there is not that much space and I cannot reach on top of the board. So, around about 6 sentences, but they are sufficient to understand for you the concept of past perfect continuous tense. Nita needed a break because she does sums since morning. Some activity started somewhere early in the morning. It continued for some period in the morning and then it also ended. Because of that activity, Nita got tired, and as a result, she need a break. This verb already indicates that it is past tense. So, since it is about past tense, and the situation also indicates that activity started somewhere in the morning, continued in the morning, and also ended in the morning. So, to describe that situation, we need to use past perfect continuous tense. So, here we know the verb form had plus been plus verb plus ing solving. Nita had been Nita needed a break because she had been solving sums since morning. Another example. I did not go out last night because it dash whole night. Last night I did not go out because something happened the whole night, and the verb is given rain. So it is a process of a whole night. Somewhere it might have started raining, it continued the whole night and also ended because we are talking about the past. So here I did not go out last night because it had been rain will be now raining. It had been raining whole night. Now, similarly here, you got sick because you dash junk food all the time. You got sick because you dash junk food all the time. This verb here already indicates that it is a past tense, and junk food eating, it is not a perfect point of time. That person might be eating junk food continuously for a long time. So eating of junk food might have started at certain point, it continued and it also ended because right now he is not eating but he is sick now. So process of long duration resulted in sickness. So here you got sick because you had been eating junk food all the time. The next one, we dash out together for 2 years before I met his family. These people, they were together for some period of time. They might have made their togetherness would have lasted for some time, and then after he made his family. So here we had been going out together for 2 years before I met his family. They had a relationship of around about 2 years. So 2 years ago it started, 2 years it continued. It did not end, but since it is a past tense here, before meeting his family, that process started continued for 2 years to indicate that we had been going out together for 2 years before I met his family. Next is the passenger dashed for 4 hours before the train came. Here, the came word already indicates past tense, simple past tense. Generally, this past perfect continuous and past perfect, they are used in combination of past tense because they are long sentences. We have to assimilate the situation. That is why the passenger verb is given wait, had been waiting. The passenger had been waiting for 4 hours before the train came. Now here it is full stop is given, but it is not a full stop, it is a question mark. This one. After play, just because of limitations of the video, that question mark might be not visible or visible, I'm not sure, but you have to think it is a question. Dash they dash in a hotel before they uh, found a flat. Here the verb is not mentioned, so I am writing the verb live. Dash they dash in the hotel before they found a flat. Now, since it is a question, in the question we know the verb formation. Verb comes first, subject goes behind, and formation of past perfect continuous tense. It is a long verb, so supporting verb like had, am, is, are, whatever they are placed and ahead, and half of the verb which is main verb considered that is going afterwards. So here had they been living? Had they been living in a hotel before they found a flat? Before finding a flat, they had been living somewhere. Now, where they had been living, that is what the question is asked about. Because before they found a proper flat for living for themselves, where were they staying or where had they been staying? That it indicates. So, it's a process. Activity started somewhere, continued for some time, also ended before they found the flat. So this is the way you have to use past perfect continuous tense. Dear friends, there are many more exercises available in the grammar book and all. Just try to solve those exercises so that this past perfect continuous concept can get clear. After watching this video, I know around about 70 to 80% might be clear, but unless you take initiatives about solving exercise by yourselves, you will not have this proper concept or proper understanding about this particular tense. But hope up to now this is very clear. So let's have a quick recap. We discuss about past perfect continuous tense use. Some activity or action started in the past, it continued for some time and also ended in the past. To indicate that particular situations, we use past perfect continuous tense. Verb form, you have to keep in mind had plus been plus verb plus ing. Hope this much is clear, and see the formation and see the verb form used in all these sentences. It will be very clear in your mind if you study it very carefully. Hope this session of past tenses is also very clear and everything is understood by you. We in total we have completed 8 tenses. Now we will have to discuss about future tenses, and about future tenses all the videos will be uploaded very soon. Till then, whatever is taught here, I mean, all these round about 8 videos you might have watched. So listen it very carefully and remember the verb formation. That's it, my friends. We will see you in the next session with the future tense video. Till then, it's goodbye from my side.